I'm Mark Rowless, and I own a small business leasing workshop units on an industrial estate near Newport. We use one of the units ourselves and rent out other small units and associated land. We rely on the income generated from the leases. In 2019, I was approached by a prospective tenant, a Mr. Davis, representing a company called DVG Greener Wales, who wanted to lease one of our units. The unit he wanted had been vacant for a few months and was costing my company money in rates and insurance costs. Mr. Davis seemed legitimate. He said his company was growing rapidly and he needed a larger unit. He wanted a store environmentally friendly and recycled products that had been developed predominantly for export. They met the terms of the tenancy, so a 12-month lease was agreed. However, it didn't take us long to realise that all was not what it seemed with Mr. Davis and DVG Greener Wales. 2 months into the lease, they were already in arrears with rent, and Mr. Davis wasn't answering my calls. So I decided to visit the property and speak with Mr. Davis in person. At the property, I was horrified to discover that it was rammed full to the rafters with shredded waste. The office inside the building had even been flattened to allow more waste to be deposited, and partially hidden behind the building were large wraps of baled waste, similar to those found on farms. You can imagine how I felt when confronted by all this waste. We immediately tried to track down Mr. Davis to find out more about him and his company, but without success. And if that wasn't bad enough, a week later, our unit caught fire. This was a significant incident, and I understand it needed 6 appliances and 30 firefighters to bring the fire under control. It caused even more damage to the building. Since then, we've been unable to trace Mr. Davis, and as a result, our company has now become legally liable for the waste. I've been in regular contact with NRW and have now received a notice to remove the waste. This whole episode has had a devastating effect on my family and my business in so many ways. Firstly, the financial impact has been huge. We didn't realise that we would be liable for the disposal costs of the waste that was abandoned in our unit. And then there's the repair costs to the building. Until we sort that out, we can't generate any income from the property. We've calculated that it will take 10 years of rental income to break even. Of course, it's not only the impact on me and my family. The fire must have cost the public purse an astronomical amount. There have been economic and health impacts on our neighbours on the estate. Other businesses were disrupted by the fire. Residents in the surrounding areas were advised not to open their windows for several days. As a family business, we simply don't have the cash reserves to meet the financial obligations that this incident has left us with. Our small band of investors are family, friends and former work colleagues. They rely on our business to supply a small addition to their retirement income. Knowing this has caused us huge personal distress. My family and I have suffered nearly 2 years of stress and anxiety dealing with the problems caused by our former tenant. I never thought I'd be caught out in this way. Was I too trusting or just naive? All I know is that Mr. Davis, or whatever his name is, was entirely plausible and seemed legitimate, and I was taken in. I had nothing to do with the waste that was brought onto the site, but as the landowner, I am now legally responsible for it all. It's devastating to be caught up in this. This has been an ongoing nightmare for me and my family. I wouldn't want anyone else to go through it. I would urge anyone who rents out commercial property to carry out full checks on any prospective tenants, to keep a close eye on anything that's happening on site, and verify any paperwork provided by checking the registers on the NRW website and other publicly available information